Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Hey guys, we Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So we are watching Fuzzy22 doing a optimal corpse explosion setup, although I debate that. Um, we'll talk about his gear later on in the video, and it is a sub 7 from game creation. Now, that's incredible. How about the mods? Well, it's a fat 325 Canyon of Cesseron. Reduced physical damage isn't going to change much. The physical portion of Corpse Explosion is pretty unimportant, so let's just call it a good mod. Drain Life is a good mod. Minus Block is actually a good mod, okay? Like, you know how I call things a good mod? I just mean they're not a bad mod like Open Wounds or Dolls, which actually are a bad mod. And you're going to have mods in your map, okay? Like, increased attack speed is dangerous, although honestly, as the game has gone on, I feel like increased attack speed isn't as bad as I originally thought. But yes, that is a more negative mod. In fact, one of the best mods is Velocity. Now, as you saw right there, his health just got chunked down. Now, what is that from? That's from the actual bad mod, Stygian Dolls. Just to finish off, Monsters deal melee splash damage, I think, is actually I'd put it on the good side of mods. I think even on a build like a summoner, I don't think it's actually that bad. Once your build is good enough, I don't think Monsters Deal Splash actually changes your play as a summoner. You still stomp. And yes, people out there are going to say, I die. Well, guess what? I've died with the most tanky summoner setup you've ever seen, and like you will randomly die in this game, and that's just the way it goes. And I don't know if Monsters Deal Melee Splash damage actually increases the chance you randomly die too much. I mean, watch Path of Exile. Okay, guys, we're playing ARPGs, and spiky damage is a problem they've never fixed and likely never will fix. Look at Diablo 4 PvP. All right, moving back to Stygian Dolls. Stygian dolls were very much changed in Project Diablo 2 for anybody new to the video, or maybe doesn't know that they were changed in Project Diablo 2. They now do damage both on death and the totem when that blows up a second later. That's what it feels like. It might be more than a second, but I can't imagine it's much. Another reason that was changed is because it was a terribly designed enemy, and melee basically could not kill them. Like, you'd have to specifically make a character to not die to a Stygian doll. Why would you do that? Two, why are you playing melee, and why aren't you in pits as a Borb? So, in Project Diablo 2, they made it so they deal some damage on death and then some damage when the totem explodes. And so it's actually kind of dangerous to do, even as Corpse Explosion. Why? Well, Corpse Explosion, as you can see, is actually moving around pretty quick. So what can randomly happen is he'll kill enemies, the dolls will die, and then he'll warp on top of it and the totems will blow up. Or maybe he won't notice the dolls getting close to him and they'll blow up on him. Like right there, I'm surprised he didn't take damage. He must have been just out of the radius. So, anything else to note about the map mods? No. What about Canyon of Secheron? A solid map. Now, there is the Crep on this map. He's getting pretty lucky in not having to deal with it much. So, that's something, but there's the Crep right there, and the Crep sucks. Why would you run this map? There's a lot of small enemies that are puny, and the big fatties really aren't that big. In fact, I think the most annoying enemy in this map is the Oblivion Knights because of Decrepify. Now, let's talk about what's going on here. He's killing a map boss. Why would I want to highlight this? Pure demonic dust. Yeah, exactly. That thing's not worth shit. Anyways, someone doesn't understand that Corpse Explosion has revives as a synergy, and you'd go, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Well, someone was complaining in NecroChat that they don't understand how Corpse Explosion can do map bosses quickly. Well, Corpse Explosion does not have the same damage as Dark Pact. This was the person's point. It's just like Dark Pact. You just do too much AoE damage and you don't have a single target burst. The difference is Corpse Explosion gets to use revives as a synergy. I don't know what in the fuck revives they were getting in the map, because literally any revive is going to kill a map boss incredibly quickly. I don't know if he amped. I'm sorry, Fuzzy, if you did. I'm just going to say I wasn't paying attention. And actually, it wasn't true. I just couldn't see the map boss because he was covered by the fucking blunderbores. But if you're struggling killing the map boss, use amp, which again is a synergy, and you'll kill them much quicker. And then if you're still going too slow, get blunderbores. Is that optimal? Basically, yes. Now, as you get below 33%, crushing blows, diminishing returns really quick in, and then at that point, it would be better to have frenzy lords. But if you just go from 100 to 0, and you don't want to have to go to 2 areas to get like 4 blunders and 4 cowlords, which seems kind of ridiculous, then just get blunderbores, uduars, gorebellies. I think those are the 3 different mob names. Now, as you can see, he did the map event spawn. He picked up a few items. Why that's important to note? Well, this was a sub 7 and basically a sub 6 from actually entering the map. And when we're doing a map test for speed, we don't pick up items. Now, why is that? Well, notice that he didn't pick up that Grand Charm. I don't think Fuzzy picks up Grand Charms anymore anyways. Why? Because Fuzzy knows that even the most valuable Grand Charm isn't really worth his time, and the chance that he actually gets the most valuable Grand Charm is very unlikely. Like, sure, a 3 fucking 120 AR 45 life Grand Charm is probably worth 10 high runes. I don't know, maybe melee is really not that popular, but there's too many Grand Charms that are worthless. And so when we're trying to do a clear speed to get an idea about how builds are compared to each other, we don't do map events and pick up items because it's way too random. And I know some YouTube people don't like that, so guess what? I've got a video for you coming up on Friday or Saturday, okay? And I'm gonna pick up every item. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. And I'm gonna ID every item, and I'm gonna core them all, and I'm gonna open up chest and stash, and it's gonna be beautiful, and it's actually not gonna be that slow. Although I wouldn't call it fast, because again, I am opening up every single chest. So anyways, great map. One last thing I want to talk about with Fuzzy is if you're looking for a guy to follow his map routing, please look at him. Now, I have White and Splendor on the screen, and I followed it up with a Mang Songs. And this is basically because some people seem to think Mang Songs is BIS. It's not. I wouldn't even call it good. Why? Because White and Splendor is almost as good as a Mang Songs, unless you get like a 6-socket one, which is just way too expensive. Now, would I say don't use a Mang Songs if you find one early on, or you get one, pretty cheap? No, it's fine. But for anyone out there to delude themselves into thinking it's better than a Dweb and a Splendor, like literally a Dweb and a Splendor is better than a Mang Songs. Maybe not a 6-socket. Okay, I'll have to give you that. But a Dweb and a Bone Flame, that's actually better than a Mang Songs already. And yes, you do get a little more Pierce. And why that's so important. Once you get Infinity, and who was his name? Xeon was talking about this, and he was saying, I don't understand why I don't run more Pierce, like with Hellmouth. The gloves that give you Pierce on your gloves. You can run Kira's Guardian, the helm that gives you Pierce. There are ways to get more Pierce as a Corpse Explosion Necromancer, like Mang Songs. The reason why Pierce really isn't that as effective is because we have Infinity and Conviction already doing so much Pierce, and it's not Poison, where we double dip. Pierce only helps us do more damage. It doesn't help us do more damage and increase length. But you actually might be right that Rites of Passage are BIS. Get over it. I can't really argue with them. I will argue with the chest. Now, I'm going to say real quickly, there's a couple of options for chest for Corpse Explosion Necromancer. Atmas, K. Jurgens, Ormus, and Skin. I'm an Ormus guy. I'm going to try to convince Fuzzy to run a 3-socket Ormus robe at some point, because I think that'd be sick. Well, Skeleton King out for now, guys. GG.
Come and play with us, Daddy.